Okay, back with you on the Bronx Buzz. And of course, thanks to Annie. She's just a wonderful reporter. But now we're going to somebody else who's wonderful. I've known her for many years, personally and professionally. It is Minister Kat, aka Ms. Kitty Rose. I'll just call her Kitty. Nice to see you, Kat, or
Hey,
Kitty.
Gary, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. But listen, it's February. I don't know if we're still allowed to say that. Anyway, but yes, of course, you know my wishes for you are always there. Now, you are, she's in the BronxNet, South Bronx, Los Central studios, and where you can see the Bronx behind her. That's part of the charm of the studios. But you're involved in something at BronxNet that you're excited about. I'm excited about. BronxNet is excited about. The Bronx is excited about. Talk to me about the Creative Marketing Workshop.
Well, one, thank you. First, let me start by thanking you always for providing a home for me to come on your show. That's one of the also beautiful things about here at BronxNet is that we create a family of support. So thank you as always for allowing me to come on and promote, yes, this
Yes.
upcoming workshop that we're doing here at the new studio here at BronxNet, where we're helping creative content creators um, with marketing or strategies to help them market their digital content. A lot of times people have the idea, but then once they have the idea, they don't know what to do next. And they don't know how to market this idea once they, have it and actually are now doing something with the idea.
And the development of technology to this day, the fact that we're both able, you're sitting in front of the studio, I got a nice painting of the Bronx behind me. The fact that we have all this technology available, social media, everybody in the world's got one of these things, so that they can do that kind of thing. But yes, people don't know how to use it. And this actually is, right to the, even though BronxNet was founded, 30 years ago, this is right to the core of what BronxNet's mission is, and that's what you're doing.
Yes, because again, they give us the support on getting certification to become an access
And
or
then what do you do with it?
or field producer. But then once you have it, it's like blah 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 blah. What do I do? You know what I'm saying?
Define for me or for us, who the people are. Like what are they doing that they would need this creative workshop? Like very specifically, so somebody will who's watching will say, "Oh yeah, I'm doing that. This is my answer."
Well, the sad thing about it is that content creators really aren't doing enough. Especially I don't like to to show or say my age, but definitely my age group, baby boomers, those 50 plus, business owners or entrepreneurs or artists, they're the ones who's actually not utilizing all of these free or small investments in their digital marketing. I mean, so everybody wants to have an idea, but they don't want to make the investment or take the time to find different platforms that they can use to market their
to
content
to figure out how to do it.
or even
There,
figuring out their demographics, because it doesn't make sense for you just to put out content and it doesn't get to the people that you actually are trying to reach.
let's just talk a little bit about you. As I said, we've known you for years. You actually have been through that process when things were not as standardized. So you had to kind of find your way to creating your own show. I remember when we met years ago, you were talking to me about, well, I got this show. I'm not sure what to do. And we didn't have, I'm BronxNet and anybody didn't have the structures to figure out how to do it. So what did you learn out of that you're going to be able to communicate to other people?
Well, I'm going to cheat for a little bit. Because one of the things I learned in this journey that I'm going to share, but actually talk more about you, is
Oh,
actually how to host. Because one of the things that you told me, you said, Kat, you don't know what to do with your hands. So you was giving me certain suggestions on what I can do with a pen,
wow.
what I can do with props. So I started implementing that in
Wow.
broadcasting, which is one of the things that you do. Again, talking about the support here at BronxNet, like you just don't take the class, but now there's extensions of helping you make your craft even better. So those are the things. Like I won't be necessarily teaching one how to communicate or how to deliver their message as a host. But what I can do is help them how to use trailers or vignettes or snippets of their broadcast to kind of market their
To
content.
market what they do.
They're not
Well,
even letting people know what's coming up.
I held up my cup to show you what I do with my hands while I'm doing the show. Um,
But even
so
the cup is investment because the cup is
right,
advertising, it's
that's
marketing.
right.
It has Bronx Buzz on the cup.
Right, and actually it has Bronx Talk on the
Oh,
other
oh,
side.
Bronx
And listen, you did something for me that was a favor just now because, as you know, I teach TV performance at BronxNet. We have a class starting on February 22nd, and that way, people who say, "Well, okay, so I'm going to market it, but I got to be in front of the camera. I've never done it before. I'm a little bit nervous. How do I do it? How do I do interviews like Gary does, like Kitty does, you know?" And that's the class that I teach. I mean, if it's something I know about, why not? Just like you,
right.
why not teach it?
Why not teach it? So that's just February. That full week, they got me on the 15th, they got you on the 22nd.
Yeah, and that's 5 weeks, by the way. 5 weeks, and it's dirt cheap.
But even if it wasn't, people need to understand that if you want exposure, then you can't be afraid to make the investment in your content, in your product. If you're asking others to support you, but you don't support yourself, you're going to be alone.
Yeah,
So,
I really got to tell a little bit of a story here. I believe that we had that conversation in a Bronx park.
yes, we
And
did.
that and because you were doing something for your show, so you interviewed me, which was fine, and I'm sure we got into all these other things. So anyway, how do
That's the
people
other part. You and I interviewed you. So that's the other thing that access producers or content creators don't do, which
exactly.
is cross promote. They don't work with each other by inviting each other on their different platforms. So now that your community now is introduced to my network, my community now is introduced to your network, so that increases our visibility.
We're living it at this moment. That's
Yeah.
exactly that's exactly what we're doing at this particular moment. Maybe Anderson, could you put up that flyer again and let's get the information up there.
Yes.
Um, so there's the workshop. It starts February 15th. How do people sign up? That doesn't say how to sign up. What do people do when they need to sign up for this?
The best place to go to is bronxnet.org.
Right.
Once you go to bronxnet.org, there's a tab at the top that says join us. You hit that tab and then you go to education.
Education, and you get in
Education
there.
will have your class, my class, all
Right,
the
right.
classes.
Well,
But my
and
class, and particularly on the 15th, yes, that's how you can sign up going directly to BronxNet and they'll give you the link on Eventbrite.
there is a really an extensive list of offerings, and so people interested in all different aspects of media, even art, and all kinds of things. I want to ask you, speaking of different types of media, the other thing which I am aware of is Ms. Kitty Rose and the next chapter where we discuss shades of gray. Uh, what, please describe, do tell, tell all. What is
Yeah.
it? I I actually got her dancing there in the South
Yeah, the
Bronx.
next
That's
time.
good.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I am an access producer here at BronxNet is because I am producing a weekly show that is here in New York that is aired in the Bronx, that's aired in Brooklyn, that's aired in Manhattan, and it's called The Next Chapter because I am going through the next chapter of my life now as an
Ah,
investor, as someone who's going through menopause, as someone who's getting ready to turn 50, and I know that life is a constant revision of next chapters. So I'm using this platform as my testimony to let the community know what I'm going through because I know that they're going through it at the same time, but they don't want to discuss it. Women don't want to talk about menopause. Women don't want to talk about, being an empty nester and how that feels. So I use the platform right here at BronxNet to, I guess, be my own testimony and work through my stuff with
and
the
s
community.
so this is a program, not necessarily like a podcast. This is like a BronxNet show.
Well, this is a BronxNet show, but again, here's another tool. It's
Yes.
also a podcast.
Ah,
Because if I'm going to have my platform on public access, why not utilize YouTube? Why not utilize Spotify and Apple, all those other platforms that don't cost me anything, but give people other opportunities and different platforms to hear my message?
and this, in many ways, you embody exactly what you're promoting. In other words, you're saying, number 1, this is the process that I've used, and I want to share that in the marketing. But then on the other hand, you're actually doing a program that you have circulated and done it yourself. And so I frankly, it's what I think when people were to take my class about TV performance, there's no question that I kind of know how to do that. There's also no question that you know how to do it because you are it.
Yes, sir.
I just want to ask you this, which I've never asked you. Um, in before you got involved with BronxNet, um, and now looking back, what does BronxNet television? What has it done for you? What has it meant for you? We probably don't have it. We only have 2 minutes left. We probably don't have enough time for it. But I know for you personally, based on all the old discussions we have and bringing it up to date, it's really loomed large in your development as an adult, as a human being, and as a creative person.
BronxNet has given me a home to learn. That's what I appreciate. BronxNet has given me the opportunity, but a real home where I actually feel support, not just from the production crew, but from the actual staff members here at BronxNet, from the producers, from the other hosts. I feel supported in all of my endeavors. When I want to learn extra camera operation, when I want to learn extra audio, when I want to work on other people's teams, I have been able to learn all of the good and the bad right here at BronxNet. So it's been that foundation to help me be better.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that really, I was here at the BronxNet's founding, and that really is the mission to do exactly that with BronxNet and with the people of the Bronx. What's fascinating and what you are explaining very clearly, when we started in 1993, it was one way. We didn't have these virtual
Right.
technology or anything like that. And now BronxNet has grown and developed and changed along with the technology. I mean, look where she's sitting in these gorgeous new. I don't even know how much money we spent. Multi-million-dollar
I
studios.
think they said 11 million
Wow.
because Max kept talking about it. We
So
spent 11 million.
all right. So listen, so it is the Creative Marketing Workshop. It starts February 15th. Go to
Yes.
bronxnet.org, do join us, and then go to education and register. And then when you look at education, scroll down there for people who want to be on camera
Yep.
and look for TV performance.
Because we're right next to each other.
Well, right now, even though I'm here and you're
Yes.
there, I
But
go
even on
like
the
this.
website.
Yeah, I go like this, and I could tickle you right over there. Anyway, Kitty, let's be formal. Minister Cat, aka Miss Kitty Rose. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being part of the Bronx Buzz. And the whole thing makes total sense because you've been on all our shows. We're all working together to help
Right.
develop this. So
Because it's about
anyway,
leading by example. You can't just talk it. You got
right.
to show them, unfortunately, how
We
to do things.
we got to run.
Okay, sorry.
No, you and me. We could go forever. Have a beautiful day, and we'll see you. I'll see you on camera. I'll see you in
Yes.
person. See you. Uh,
Thank
so
you.
thank you. So that will do it, folks. Thank you to Annie, who is just such a great reporter from City and State, and of course to Kitty and to Anderson, our producer. And if the curtain don't fall and the creek don't rise, I'll be back next week. Good night.